All right, we want to talk about information classification. Now, when we talk about information classification, we are talking about top secret, secret and confidential information. What is top secret information? Top secret is the highest level of classification. Top secret means that unauthorized disclosure of such information can cause exceptionally grave damage to national security. So this kind of information, meaning that people who doesn't have the right authorization shouldn't be able to have access to this information. And if this information is being released to people who doesn't have the right authorization, what is going to happen is that it's going to cause grave damage to national security. The next level of classification is secrets, which unauthorized disclosure could cause serious damage to national security. Now, when information that are supposed to be secrets are released to people who doesn't have the right authorization, we are saying that it's going to cause serious damage to national security. Whereas confidential, this means that unauthorized disclosure of this information is expected to cause minor damage to national security. And so these are the information classification: top secrets, secrets, and confidential. Now, when this kind of information is being given out, remember that you see, when you're talking about these three information, all of them is going to cause damage to national security. And that is why you need certain clearances before you can see certain government information or certain government data. If you don't have a top secret clearance, you don't see top secret information. Now, when someone who doesn't have that clearance sees that information, we call it a spillage. When someone who doesn't have the right authorization sees those kind of information, this is what we call a spillage. Security incident that results in the transfer of classified information onto an information system not authorized to store or process that kind of information is termed as spillage. Now, spillage cannot be just an individual, but it can also be a system, because classified data needs to be on certain kind of systems. Secret information or secret data needs to be on certain kind of systems. Top secret needs to be certain kind of system. You can't be walking around with a pen drive or a hard drive with top secret information. It doesn't work that way. And so these are the information classification. And know what a spillage is. A spillage is when someone or a system that doesn't have the right authorization have access to those kind of information. All right, security category. Now, the characteristics of information or an information system is based on an assessment of what, one, the potential impacts that a loss of the CIA Triad or the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of such information or information system will have on an organization. And so what we are saying is that when we are mapping our information types, the potential impacts of loss of the CIA Triad is what we term as security category. When we hear a category, we are talking about classification. We are talking about grouping. We are talking about you categorizing something, grouping things in a way that they can be recognized. What are controls or security controls? I love controls very well, and I'm sure that by the time you are done with this class with me, you'll love controls also very well. If you want to be in this field, it's one of the things that you always want to talk about. You always want to learn about. You always want to understand. What are security controls? The management, operation, and technical controls, safeguards or countermeasures prescribed to help protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information system. What do we mean by this? Now, what we mean is that measures that we have put in place to help us to protect our information system, that is what we call controls. Now, when we talk about these controls, what we are referring to is that these are standards that we have. We need to make sure that we are matching up to these standards. There are thousands of these controls, and we'll go over them when we get to one of the classes where we talk about security controls. Requirements. Requirements can be used in different contexts. In the context of the federal information, security, and privacy posture, requirements is just referring to information security and privacy obligation that is being imposed on an organization, meaning that the organization needs to do this. It is required of you for you to do this. All right, let's head into our security objectives and learn something about what we call the CIA Triad. CIA Triad. This is also one of the foundational understanding that you really need to have about cybersecurity. When we talk about cybersecurity, we defined it as protecting electronic data. Now, the electronic data, the three key components that we talked about the CIA Triad. That you are protecting the confidentiality of the information, you are protecting the integrity of those electronic information, and the availability of that electronic information. What do I mean? When we say confidentiality, we are saying that you are protecting the information from unauthorized people. And I use your mobile phone as an example for you, that the reason why you have a password on your mobile phone is to protect the information on your mobile phone. From who? Your kids. For people who doesn't have that right authorization. And how do we ensure confidentiality? We ensure confidentiality by encrypting our data. So when you pick up your phone right now, you realize that if you don't use your facial ID and you are typing in your passcode, it comes in a character that is not recognizable. Even though you type a number, but it will come in an unrecognizable character. That is what we call integrity. That is what we call encryption, meaning that the data has been encrypted. Integrity. When we talk about integrity, we are talking about guarding your information or protecting your information from being modified or destroyed. What do we mean by this? Now, we say that guarding against improper information modification or destruction, and includes ensuring information non-repudiation and authenticity. Now, integrity is where we make sure that the information that we are sending is not edited. Because there's a possibility that your information can be modified. Remember, we talk about the man-in-the-middle attack. What does the man-in-the-middle attack does? The man-in-the-middle attack is just in the middle there, receiving the information that you are sending and twisting the information. So I give you a letter for you to give it to someone. You open the letter and you change some of the figures that are, or some of the words that are in the letter. That is where we say that there have been a breach of integrity. How do we ensure that integrity is secured? Hashing. What is hashing? Hashing is an algorithm that is being performed on data, such as a file or a message, to produce a number that we call a hash. Sometimes we call it a checksum. What the hash is doing is that the hash is being used to verify that the data is not modified, tampered with, or corrupted. In other words, you can verify that the data has maintained its integrity. When you meet someone and you say that this person has integrity, you are saying that this person can be trusted. You are saying that this person that we are talking about, he's someone who really can be trusted and is a faithful one. And so when we are using hashing, what you are using hashing to do is to protect the integrity of the data, that it will not be edited. Availability. Availability means that you are ensuring that the information is available and reliable whenever you need it. And how do you ensure that? Through backup. We save our pictures in iCloud. Why? Because we want to make sure that whenever we need it, we can find it. I always tell people that you save pictures in your iCloud, but you realize that you pay for iCloud, but you don't even use it. Because those pictures that are in your iCloud, you don't remember the last time that you go in there to even go check the pictures or what you are using those pictures for. But we pay for it. But hey, that's just by the way. That's a way that also these companies are helping us to protect or to keep our information. So we've talked about confidentiality, we've talked about integrity, and we have talked about availability. We've talked about encryption as a way of ensuring confidentiality, hashing as a way of ensuring integrity, and backup as a way of making sure that our information is always available. Now, when we talk about encryption, there are two types of encryption. Let me quickly run through that, then I'll move on. We have symmetric and we have asymmetric. What is symmetric encryption? Symmetric encryption just uses one key, meaning that the message has been converted into a form that is not recognizable. We add a key to it and that's it. When the receiver receives the message, a receiver is also going to use that same key to be able to open up the message to read the message. Asymmetric uses two keys, a public key and a private key. Just like you go to your post office, just think about it. The post mailman will come into your mailbox with what? A public key. You'll be able to open the mailbox, then put the letters in everybody's box. When you come back, you come with your private key, open the mailbox, and be able to take your letters out of it. What does it mean? What it means is that an asymmetric uses two keys, a public and a private. The public key is used to encrypt it, and the private key is being used to be able to decrypt it. I hope that makes sense. All right, I'll catch you on the next slide.